Welcome to Ken's Corner Podcast, Season 4.
It's the sunny day in Toronto, y'all. How you doing, guys? Welcome back to Ken's Corner Leaf fan panel. And I got a full deck today, and the Leafs must be winning. Guys, let's do a roll call. To my left, or actually, I don't know where y'all end up being, so I'll just go around the room from my left right now. Anyway, JT, welcome back from the hospital. Thank you so much for coming off a long-term reserve. We want Ian Greener out there in Nova Scotia. I guess he's a playoff addition. Our cap won't allow him to be back right now. JT, how are you doing?
Like I said, still on the right side of the dirt. So
That's good news.
Every day is a new day.
Welcome back. Thank you. And thank you for wearing that shirt. George apparently forgot to wear his. George, all the way out there in Calgary, fresh off a trip to the gym. George, how's Calgary doing? St. Louis decided to win a lot of the games. I don't know if Calgary's going to catch them. Sorry, I cut you off, but I had to add that. How's the feeling out in Calgary these days?
Well, it's nice and sunny. We're hitting 20, so gotta love the weather. And just glad to see the fan panel's full, and we're having a good time.
Yeah, well, your weather's hot. Your hockey team, maybe in Calgary, isn't so much, but your favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, are sitting in first. My God. Joe, how are you doing? Thank you so much for taking some time out from work to joining us here. Joe Moyer.
Hi, guys. Great to see everyone back. JT, welcome back, buddy. We missed you.
Good to be back.
Gordon Bell from Scarborough. I changed his name from Colleen to Gordon. How you doing, Mr. Bell?
Enjoying the sunny weather. Glad to have you back, JT. And yeah, things are looking good.
And Phil, I'm going to do my wrestling stick because I always got to put that in somewhere. Phil from Parts Unknown. How's Mr. Phil today?
Good. Excited to get this thing started. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. All right, so we're going to start by talking about that game that we spoke about. We only spoke about one game because that was all that mattered at the time. So we talked about the Florida Panther game. And you know what, JT, we're going to let you chime in first since you're back on board with us here today. Let's talk about that game and your feelings before and after that big win against the Florida Panthers in Toronto.
Well, most importantly, it made me $20 with my son. He's a Florida fan, so we have a running total going back and forth. But you know what? There's sometimes you got to get monkeys off the back, and you got to make sure that Bobrovsky knows that pucks can get by him. And he hadn't seen a whole lot of that before he seen us, and yeah, it was nice to put a few behind him and play the way we did as a team and as a unit. And we were physical. We showed what we're going to be in the playoffs, in my mind.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Who was our MVP of that game? Who stood out the most for you in that win for Toronto? And God, it seems like a million years ago for me, but correct me if I'm wrong. It was a 3-1 victory for Toronto.
3-2.
3-2. Thank you, Jesus.
I'm going to give you one name, guys, who's going to be the carrier of us all playoffs. Anthony Stolarz. That guy is our go-to guy. Anyone who thinks differently hasn't been watching. That guy is solid. They talked a lot about him at the Columbus game, but how he talks back there. And I think the Leafs play better when he's back there.
Phil, who was our best player that game? Who's the player that stood out the most in that Florida game in your eyes?
Oh, like Joe said, I think Anthony was just outstanding. The defensive pairing with Tanev and McCabe until McCabe went down, unfortunately, was again blocking shots, killing penalties, just suffocating the Panthers on every opportunity.
Gord, your thoughts on John Tavares moving his way up the goal board there? Who would have thought that he's almost at 40? Maybe he might get 40 this year. Would you have thought that 5 games ago?
5 games ago, probably not. Um, I think he's just been playing more relaxed this year. Doesn't have the pressure. He's just once he passed the C on to Matthews, I think he lifted about 1,000 pounds off his shoulders. And not in a bad way because he loved being the captain here, but I think it just took the pressure off him to let him play hockey. I mean, pretty much everywhere here and in New York, he was the captain. So he's really not had the ability to kind of relax and just go for it and play hockey. He's always been a player that people have been relied on. He's not afraid to be vocal, but I wouldn't have thought he'd be getting close to 40, but I'm glad he is, honestly.
Yeah. George, our other 40 goal scorer. A couple weeks ago, Joe said, and I believe Gord chimed in, William Nylander was off on break, but my God, what does he have now? 44 goals. Wow. What do you think of William Nylander during this stretch of when we're actually, by the way, guys, 8-1-1 in our last 10 games? And the reason why we're sitting, let's be honest, we're getting a lot of help from Montreal and Ottawa right now as well. But your thoughts on William Nylander?
Well, what do we got? About 7 games left.
Six.
6 games left.
6 games.
6 games left. I see him getting 50, and I hope he does. And I hope he holds our team together. And I just have to mention one more guy. That Knives. He got that breakaway, and he beat Bobrovsky when a couple people couldn't. So I'm a Knives fan too now.
Well, yeah, I know your birthday's coming up soon, and I believe your wife is purchasing you a Matthew Knies jersey as we speak. So, yeah, that was. Yeah. Let's not forget that, guys. Matthew Knies got the winning goal in that game on that. A beautiful pass from the Mitch Marner, who is approaching that elusive 100 points a game. JT, let's talk about Mitch Marner. Do you think he's going to reach that 100 points? He's got 94 points and he needs a point a game.
I see it. I see it easily. He not easily, but I see it. Mitch, the three, I don't know. There's so many people and so many that are just cusping right now on awesomeness, and they're all doing it at the same time. And Mitch has that ability to find people, to see things that other people can't see. Threading that past denies for that breakaway. Who does that? He landed that. He literally sauced that onto his blade. Like that. Who sees it and who can do it?
Well, only the guys that got 70 plus assists, I believe.
Yeah, like that. He's a monster. And I don't know. I think the whole package, right down to even like Bobby McMahon, like this, these guys are just outperforming what people thought they're going to perform. Stolar's behind them. I think we've got a shot at everything, personally.
Thank you. Phil, do you think the Leafs are ramping it up? Are they playing playoff hockey right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've been playing playoff hockey for the last 2 weeks. Obviously, we've had some games that have gotten away from us. We've had some bad travel days, and going to the East Coast and dealing with that jet lag or West Coast, sorry, and dealing with some jet lag in San Jose. But fact of the matter is that every team is ramping up. So if you're not, you're going to start falling off. And we all know how much the game changes once we get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Florida is going to be waiting with Matthew Tkachuk, and who knows, God else is going to be ready to play in that first round. But hey, we might be against Ottawa. As much as we all seem to be a little upset with that or scared of that, I think that's. I listened to a podcast not long ago, and they said that it was Craig Button actually, who's he's never really a Leaf fan too much, I'll tell you, but he said that our right wingers are going to our left wingers are going to take out the right side of the Ottawa defense because they're weak on the right side, and guys like Knies and McMahon and Pacioretty coming back and Lawton are going to be able to have free reign on that side. Joe, let's speak of this game last night. Did it get out of hand? Like, what happened? 5-0 over the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that while we haven't fared well, they're one of those teams that we don't win usually against. Was that our complete game last night?
I think that was a really, really good test to what they can be. But listen, Elvis Merzlikins, what happened to him? I mean, he had 3 goals that just went right through them. Like his positioning was terrible last night, I thought. Not that, you know, his team didn't score any for him, but it certainly gives you a lot of momentum when you can just take a shot and it goes right through him somehow. I didn't like Merzlikins' game at all. I thought he used to be a lot better than that. So it's nice to see that go in our favor. But what I liked is the team is standing up for each other. We haven't had that in years. And someone brought up the Matthew Nyes glove in the face thing. It's so good to see us push back and not just take it while other teams laugh as we skate away. And it's really a pack mentality, and it seems to be getting more and more now as we near the season's end. And do we really need Ryan Reeves, guys? I don't. I kind of thought we might. Now I'm thinking after watching this team, we maybe don't. These guys are okay to stand up for themselves.
Yeah, I got 2 comments. Elvis has left the building, Joe. And yes, thank you for bringing up the Ryan Reeves angle as well, because guess what, guys? We've had 12 fights this season under Craig Berube. So I think we can handle ourselves in that regard.
But you do have
George,
to give Reeves credit because that's
Yeah.
where they're learning from.
yeah, he actually scored his
That's
first
where
goal
they're
from
learning from
Marlies.
because Laurent said it the other day that that's where they learn to fight. So
Yeah.
that's where they're learning for. I think it's fantastic that he's teaching them to stand up for themselves finally.
Exactly. George, are you going to go get yourself a number 89 Nick Robertson jersey? What are your thoughts on Nick Robertson? I know Gore was vocal about it before the podcast here on this guy. He seems to score every time he gets motivated and pulled from the lineup for a few games. Your thoughts on Nick Robertson's game yesterday?
Well, exactly like you said, he gets pulled from the bench for a couple games, and he comes back and he does it. He does it all the time. He comes back and he scores a couple goals. Maybe that's what he needs is a break here and there, and then come back and have his legs underneath him. But let's talk about Matthew Knives Michigan pull. That was almost a good goal there.
Yeah, definitely. He has tried that a couple of times this year, but I believe that was the most one that was more visual to people. That it was clear that what he was trying to do there. You know, Merzlinking, sorry, whatever. Elvis, he got his blocker down a little bit on that one. He was playing it fairly well in that first period. Phil, we're going to start with you. We'll walk around the room and let's set up these next 2 games. Let's have all our guys' predictions on this Florida Tampa Bay, a Florida trip. Are our guys going to pull off? And I'm assuming if we come out of this 2-0, guys, that will probably solidify us into that top spot. Your
We only
predictions
need
start with
4
you, Phil.
points total in the combination of Leafs win, Florida and Tampa Bay loss. So if that's the case, we take top spot. So if Toronto beats Florida on Tuesday and Tampa Bay loses, Toronto clinches the top spot.
Okay.
So let's go do that. So I hope that McCabe's going to be back and healthy because that's a big part of our defense. But I mean, if he's not, then let's rest him up. Let's get down there. And I think Florida is kind of faltering right now. So if we can take advantage of that, and like some of the guys said, with getting into Bobrovsky's head there with some goals, hopefully we can go down there and do it all over again.
What's the scores?
I hate this part. I got no idea, man.
Anthony Stolar, I'm going to tell you, spoiler alert, he'll start that game in Florida.
2-1 Toronto.
And Tampa?
I hate Tampa.
We are 3-0 against Tampa. So.
We'll go 5-3 over freaking, what's their goalie's name?
Vasilevsky.
Hopefully he's as greasy as Vaseline.
Yeah. Gord, you're next up. Can you give me your predictions?
Well, I will second Phil's opinion of Tampa Bay at this moment. I'm going to say 3-1 again. 3-1 in Florida. Tampa Bay, I'll take 5-2.
George, what's your thoughts?
Well, Gord took my 3-1 against the Panthers, so I'm saying 3-1 against Panthers, and let's go 5-1 against Tampa.
JT?
I'm actually going to say we're going to light Bob up and it's going to be a 4-2 game against Florida, and it's going to be nasty. But I think there's going to be it's going to be a fun game. And Tampa, I think we're going to be putting Wool in net for Tampa, and we are going to come out with just a nail biter on that one, maybe 4-3.
Yeah, you're right. I believe Joseph Woll we have 2 more back-to-backs, and he'll get those 2 games. The rest, I believe, are Anthony Slur. JT, this is a side question for you real quick. Is Brad Marchand playing possum, or is he just invisible on the ice? Because I didn't see him play.
He's playing possum.
He's playing possum.
Yeah, I honestly, there's a lot happening on that Florida lineup right now, and I think what everyone's watching right now is just a game of possum. And I think when everyone's healthy and back on the ice, it's going to be a different beast, and we won't see them in the first round. So whoever does, hopefully beats the crap out of them. But yeah, I think they're all just laying low right now, and everyone's playing possum.
Battle of Florida down there. I hope that there's nothing but bones left over after their 7-game series.
Yeah.
Blood and snot all over the ice.
Guys, it's your predictions, Joe, but I'm going to enter this into your mind, Joe. Ottawa Senators, who are surging up the standings, are now just 4 points behind Florida. Do they flip-flop possibly, and we play Florida anyway? And give me your predictions.
No, I think we're pretty solid with the 2 Florida teams. I think finishing second and third. JT, you're absolutely right. Let's not get lulled into a false sense of security. This is a big deal for the Leafs to finish first. It isn't for Tampa and Florida. They don't care. How many times have we see teams burn themselves out finishing first, and then they're a one and done in the first round of the playoffs? So they're kind of sitting back going, okay, you guys go have a taste at first. Don't worry about it. But when the playoffs start, it's a new season. And don't kid yourself. You put Aaron Ekblad and Kachuk back there with Barkov, and then Marchand's going to decide to play because that's playoff time. He's just coasting. This is a different beast, guys. Let's not get too cocky now. I know you're going to hate me, but we'll split the Florida series. I think we'll take Florida Panthers. I don't think we're going to take Tampa. We're going to need a little bit of comeuppance, I think, and smarten up a bit. So I'll say that we'll probably take 3-1 empty net goal for Florida, and we'll lose 4-2 to Tampa.
Yeah, well, you know what? If we're going to lose one game, let's lull them into a false sense of security, considering we've beaten them 3 times. And then we can go take it out on Montreal and Carolina and Buffalo and Detroit and clear out the rest of the year. Thanks a lot, guys, for playing along. I think I got everyone's predictions. Am I right?
What are you saying, Ken?
Who's seen, JT, did you see the win? First off, let's talk about JT. Let's talk about the fact that Alexander Ovechkin refused to go onto the ice to score into an open net. He wanted to score on an actual goalie. And did you see the goal that he scored in the dive, the little celebration that he did afterwards, JT?
I got to watch recordings of it. I was a little running around today, but yeah, Ovi is Ovi, and he's all class and he's all hockey. I think he's the quintessential hockey player, and he's a goal scorer. There's so many weird things that go on these parallels between him and Gretzky. Gretzky was the setup guy, whatever, but you got to remember they both had the identical number of games to get to the identical number of goals. There's so many just weird parallels there. It's kind of cool. And then for him to say, no, I'm not going out there right now for this. If I'm going to do it, I want to have a goalie there. That's class, and respect to him, respect to the league from him. And Gretzky said it is entirely. He said, that's just all about respect. And hats off to him.
Yeah, well, there is a record that probably will never be broken. So I think Gretzky's pretty secure in his 2,800 points. I think Crosby's about 1,000 points off that right now. But Bill, your thoughts on Ovechkin? And excuse me. And do you think? Well, this is for everyone that's left here. Is he going to get to 1,000 goals, or are we going to see 1,000 goal scorer in our future?
No, he's not going to get to 1,000. The guy's he's getting up there. He's gonna play next year, 100%. He's probably gonna come out and score 8 goals or something. You know what I mean? Like he's done what he's wanted to do this year. The fact goes back to him not wanting to come out and score on an empty net. I have so much respect for that. But let's not also take into consideration that he knows that he hasn't scored against Ilya Sorokin in his entire career. He knew that that game was going to be in New Jersey against his buddy who he's never scored on. He was not going to break the record on an open net. He wants to break it with that goalie in there and in somebody that he's never done it against before.
George, can you give us your thoughts?
He didn't want that open net because he already had so many of them. So let's get that straight across. Yeah, and again, yeah, it was against his friend, but he already had so many open net goals, so he wanted the goalie to be there.
That's what Gretzky said. He's like, I don't even know how many open nets to score.
That's true. Joe, does Ovechkin get to 1,000 goals?
No, not at all. Like exactly. You guys said everything bang on. Class act. He wasn't always that way. Didn't like him when he first started out, but he matured, and I think he got it as he grew older. He's a great leader. I mean, Fleury's last game, he calls the team out of the dressing room as they're leaving the ice to come out and shake hands. That's the kind of guy he is. He has a lot of respect for the game, a lot of respect for his teammates, and records are made to be broken. Gretzky has his share of them, and he had his share of empty net goals too. Don't kid yourself. So, I was happy to see it. I mean, yeah, I'd love to see Gretzky hang on it, but Gretzky's got a million more records. I'm not worried about it. Good on Ovi.
Yeah, thank you. And Gorb, we're going to give you your last thought. Does Ovechkin, in your mind, make it to 1,000 goals, or does he make it to 50 goals this year?
I don't think he'll hit the 1,000 either. I think he did. It was class and respect of him not getting the empty netter, even though, as George said, he had a pile beforehand. But to actually break the record, it was class and respect. I think he could get 50 if he goes on a little bit more of a roll here, but he's not far off to be able to do it. But I don't think he'll get the 1,000 either.
Yeah, well, I hope William Nylander gets closer to 50 than Ovechkin. But hey, I'm a Leaf fan, so
Here's a better question, guys. If the Capitals win the cup this year, is Ovechkin say sayonara?
Yes,
They don't win. They don't win.
If
Yeah.
they do,
I
well,
think
let's go around the room. Does Washington have a legit road? Are they a legit Stanley Cup contender, Joe?
sure they are. I think them and Winnipeg, I think, have been neck and neck, lockstep all season. So
Who's
I think
better?
they do.
JT, who's better?
Winnipeg, by my account, Winnipeg's got the edge, but not anything can happen in the playoffs, right? And if things are falling well for Ovi, you never know how the playoffs could shake out for Washington this year.
Yeah.
Winnipeg has Hellebuck. Washington has Ovi. I think they're neck and neck. I think any team that makes it to the end and gets into the finals or gets to championship hockey has a chance to win it. They're there for a reason. You can see these bottom feeders that just make it in at the last minute, but they peak at the right time and they run shackle through everybody. So absolutely Washington has a chance. And I think if Washington wins it, I think Ovi does tip his hat and says, thank you very much.
George, we already know your thoughts on Washington.
Well, hopefully Montreal doesn't make it in, and Rangers make it in, and they stop Washington.
Well, you know what? Montreal wouldn't be so bad because you know what? They would have to play either Carolina, who's a bit of a good team down there. So it would make one heck of a path for the Canadians to get through. That's for sure. Phil, your thoughts? Can Washington? Are they a legit team?
I don't care. I don't like them anyway. But one thought about the Ovechkin thing is that, yes, he broke Gretzky's record, but since we're a Leaf panel, he's only going to have the record for 9.5 years because Matthews is going to break it. So enjoy your 10 years with this record, buddy, because Matthews is coming for you and he's going to take your scoring record.
Nice.
Let's hope that he follows him around and gives him the same respect that Wayne Gretzky did.
I think he will. I'll be honest with you. I think if somebody was going to break that record, Ovi'd be in the stands, just like Wayne Gretzky was,
He'll
just
be
like
in
Corey
Russia
Howe was.
Okay, last question before we get off here, guys. And it's just a one name. Your thoughts right now as of today, who is the best team in Canada, Gord?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
JT.
Forward.
Leafs.
Joe?
Winnipeg Jets.
Why is this guy on this panel?
George?
Someone that you
Toronto
guys argue
Maple
with.
Leafs. Toronto
Phil?
Maple Leafs.
In the last 10 games, Toronto, but the season, I mean, Winnipeg has been unbelievable.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's I knew that would be the next, but you know what? Why is no one saying Montreal with the way they played?
Who, what?
Or Ottawa? No,
What?
Ottawa's?
I'm sorry, Ken. What team was that? Where are they located? I
Well,
can't
it's
remember.
definitely not Vancouver or maybe Halifax. I don't know. Okay, guys, here's a bit of a homework for you. Next week, we're going to name our award winners. So let's name our Hart, our Rookie, our Vezina, our Coach of the Year next week. Let's get that down and see what everyone can come up with. Thank you so much, guys. Let's do a bit of a roll call on our way out. JT, thank you so much for coming back and rejoining us here in Ken's Corner. Joe Moyer, you get back to exactly what I'm not going to say what you're doing. George, I mean, he's working, so don't get it wrong out there. George, all the way out in Calgary with his beautiful Leaf bedspread, apparently. Congratulations. And George, everyone on the way out, is George's birthday, April 10th, so say a happy birthday to him. Phil and Parts Unknown and Gordon Bell, not Colleen, in Scarborough.
Have a good one. Happy birthday, early birthday there, Georgie.
cheers.
Happy birthday.
Go Leafs,
Cheers.
everyone.
And go
Go
Leafs,
Leafs,
go.
go.
Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go.
You homer.